Morning, it is Tuesday, January 13th. I'm Jamie Yukas.
And I'm Sheba Turk. Thank you for joining us this morning. We do have breaking news, a major fire in a two-story row of businesses. Assignment Manager Mark Lou at the desk with an update. Mark, what's the latest?
Yeah, Sheba, this one kept firefighters busy for quite some time. More than 120 firefighters worked on this one for more than 90 minutes. Let me take you to some video from SkyCal. It's looking a lot better. You can see here this two-story row of businesses near the intersection of Sherman Way and Winnetka in the Winnetka area. It was about 5:10 this morning that the first arriving LA City firefighters from Fire Station 72 reported huge smoke and flames coming out of that southernmost section of this row of businesses. They immediately called for more help. In total, more than 45 fire engines and trucks arrived, 120 firefighters to fight this fire. And you can see there has been a partial roof collapse in not one, but two different locations. Firefighters say they went into what's called defensive mode here. No one inside this building. It was simply too dangerous. And they weren't sure exactly what was inside, as some of this building was reported to be vacant. Now, I also have a crew that's on the ground. You're going to see a better perspective here of what that looks like down there. Firefighters now in the mop-up stages as they get those hot spots taken care of. Right behind this row of businesses, though, was a very large apartment complex, and firefighters very concerned that this fire could spread to that apartment complex. They did what's called very serious structure protection back there. They said they had a great wall that was there, a division wall that helped keep the fire from going into that apartment complex. So they did not evacuate that building. They just asked everyone to shelter in place. Now, I also have, this is video again of SkyCal. You can see as those hose lines did their work at getting that fire out. It took about 90 minutes to get most of the flames knocked down. I do have some video that I want to show you from SkyCal as they just got overhead when they first arrived this morning. The sun had not yet come up. You can see this is what it looked like even before that roof collapsed. Fire all along the second floor inside the building. I was listening to the radio traffic. Firefighters said, we can't get inside there, but we are concerned. This is the rear portion, and those firefighters you see on the roof there, that's actually the roof of the apartment complex next door. There was no fire in that building, so they felt confident being on the roof. They were able to get structure protection there. That's where they put water and make sure that there's no extension of that fire into that building. Now, a spokesperson for the LA City Fire, Eric Scott, just had a news conference where he said there was one injury at this fire. There was an adult woman who approached firefighters on her own. She was walking, she was conscious, but she had suffered smoke inhalation severe enough that they took her to the hospital in an LA City Fire paramedic ambulance. She's going to be okay. Eric Scott did not know where she was actually at when this fire started, if she was in one of these businesses or came from somewhere else. Now, we understand we actually do have a crew that's on the ground. Reporter Amanda Starantino has just arrived down there. I want to send it down to her to ask her, Amanda, what are you seeing down there now that this fire appears to be getting a little bit better?
It's looking a lot better than it was even just an hour ago. You can see that building behind me right here, and you can see crews working on it. We're not seeing any active flames, so that's some good news here, but it is a huge scene out here. A lot of fire crews out here. They're all spread out through this entire parking lot. We're right in front of a Dollar King, a very busy intersection here. The roads are packed, and this whole road is actually blocked off. Joseph here, I was just talking with him. You say you work in that building. Tell us what you know.
Well, my church, this is my church right here, Reveal Christ Christian Ministry, and in there I was just doing some website development for my church, and I got done and I was like, okay, let me jump into coding for like the apps and stuff like that we about to put out there. And then I just noticed something was smelling. I thought it was incense, for example, and I was like, why would the next door be having incense going on? And I was like, okay, well, no problem. And I just kept on doing what I was doing. Then from nowhere, something was in me saying, you need to go out there and see what's going on. I ignored it the first time. It kept on hitting me
This is around 5 a.m. this morning. It's pretty early.
It was very early. I think I started smelling it around around 4:30. I started smelling it, but I didn't really. So the thing said, go out there, and I didn't go out there. And then I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should check from the back door to see what's going on back there. And then I checked from the back door, and I saw that the people on the other building were looking this direction. And then I looked outside, and I thought it was the fire going on again in LA. And I was like, what's going on? LA is burning again? And then I rushed outside to see it from this direction, and I saw that it was this building burning. You know?
There were a lot of flames here. What did it look like to you?
Well, when I came outside, I saw this guy. He was kind of like, videoing the stuff. But yeah, when after a while, one of the building in the middle over there just collapsed. I eventually started calling my pastor, calling everybody to let them know what's going on here. It's very dangerous. It looks like, yeah, it's a lot going on.
A lot of damage. Okay, can you describe to us? We're not very familiar with this building. What are we looking at right here, and where are they working?
Well, on this part of the building, I've never seen anybody in that middle part anyway, right? Because I've been coming to this church for over a year. I've never seen anybody in this side of the building.
Do you know even what's in this part of the building?
Nobody knows. This is my first time seeing it. I know that recently, like on top of our church, they have some people just moved in. Underneath it's close to us. It's like maybe like a government place where government pay for adults to come in and do some programs or something. Yeah.
All right. Do you know what's next for your church? What you guys are planning on?
I'm hoping that they don't shut it down. My church had had the same problem about 3 years ago. It burnt down the whole equipment in our church. We are thankful that it didn't burn down anything in our church, but I have to tell you, man, this is a very good testament that something can actually tell you from the inside to be alert. Because I was in there and something kept on telling me to go out there. I ignored it the first time. The third time, I was able to now listen to the thing to come outside. So if something starts telling you from the inside before you make a mistake to come outside and check on something, come outside regardless, or do something before you actually make the biggest mistakes of your life. But I'm hoping that this gets fixed because my church, we've been really trying our best. We're actually building a website so that we can be able to have more people to come to our church and stuff like that. But if you really need a place where you need to be and people that care about you, this is a place to be. It's a very good neighborhood. The owner is very nice, but I don't know what's been going on.
Okay. Joseph, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You got to listen to your gut because you don't know what's going to happen. We did speak to fire officials earlier. Can we take a listen to that soundbite?
They've done an excellent job in particularly protecting another large two-story apartment building just to the left or behind us at this point. If you're looking at the front of the building, it would be to the left. And so that was filled with people during this early morning fire, but due to firefighters' quick efforts, they were able to keep all flames and smoke out of that apartment building, and those individuals were able to shelter in place. They did not need to be evacuated.
And really quick before we go, I just want to give you one last look of what exactly the scene looks like here from the ground. All right, we're going to walk around a little bit. You can see we have all the crews here. We're looking at this part of the building that we aren't still sure exactly what it is. We can see how many crews are up top there. They're trying to get this all cleaned up. And this building is pretty massive. It goes all the way down this way. And so you can see just how big this is and how much this is to deal with. So they're obviously going to make sure all the flames are out here. And if we come around all the way back this way, this is a pretty big parking lot. You can see other media crews here as well. The fire department crews go all the way down to the end of this intersection. So a lot of questions being asked. How did this happen? Why did this happen so early? And a lot of people trying to figure out what to do next. Obviously, a lot of people involved with this one. So we're going to try to get that information, and I'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate Joseph's description of everything happening this morning. Also want to mention, I'm glad that the winds are not, really intense right now, because this could have had such a different impact on that apartment building. Amanda, thank you.